Welcome back. In this section, we want to discuss relative and absolute cell references. There are two main types of cell references in Excel, which are relative and absolute. Both of them behave differently when you copy them from one cell to the other. So it's either as part of the formula or a function. Relative references are the default ones and is being used often more than the other. So the example we are going to make use of in this section. So I want to know the total cost of each menu item on this particular invoice. The total cost of each item. So when you add tax and when you add tax, so I want to see what is the total of all this. So in order to do this, I need to multiply the values of these two cells. This one and this one. This and this. So in order to get the total, so I will have to multiply the two of them. Now, to determine the tax sales, we need to multiply this, and this, the three of them. That means this, and 8.0 here to determine this before we can arrive at the total value. So, what I'm going to do now is first set equals to here. So I am going to multiply B5 plus C5 also by E2. This is E2. So the figure here, so I'm going to multiply it by other, so 8.0. So that is not all. We need to put B5 and C5 into parentheses. So I'm going to put it into brackets. So when you are done, press enter. So you have your score. So in order to determine the total for fifth row, so you are going to first of all enter your equal to, that's where to start from. It's going to be B5 multiplied by B5 multiplied by C5 plus D5. So you have the total score. So it's very simple. We already calculated for tax with 8.0. Then when you multiply this plus this, then you have 3192.0. So in order to get the final answer, you multiply this plus D4 and plus D5. So that is how you are going to arrive your answer. So in order to do it for others, like you want to fill this space, so without having to go through the stress of calculating one after the other, you just use your fill handle to drag it down. So you will have every other cells calculated for you by Excel. So that is how powerful it is. So now we are going to check whether they are the same calculation or not. So you can see D5, D6, D7, D8 and so on. So that is how it is done. So when I say look at our original formula, what it actually see is the location of the cells relative to the location of the formula. So that means in this case it's looking at the two cells, and it's from there it derive its answer. So it look at location. This technique is very useful because it means we can copy the formula just like we did here. So you just apply it through, and everything is set. The references don't have to be in the same row. They can be anywhere in the sheet. There may be times when you don't want the cell references to change. So I would like to show you how to create cell references across different worksheets in the same workbook. This can be useful if you want to create a formula on one. This can be useful if you want to create a formula on one worksheet that references another worksheet in the same book. This can be useful if you want to create a formula on one worksheet that references the value of another worksheet in the same workbook. So it works the same as a normal reference. You just have to include the name of the worksheet along with the cell's addresses. So to start that, figure out what cell you want to use. Let's say this. Figure out the cell you want to use, but you must take note of its location. So for this demonstration, for example, I'm going to use this one E15. So I'm going to select it. So take note of the location. So what you just need to do is to switch to the other sheet. So I'll come here. So as you can see here, we already have our formula. We have formula in place here that calculates the total cost here. So what you need to do is to locate this cell here. So what I just need is the total of this from this menu order. I just want it to reference here. So I'm going to type equals to then type menu order. So we are done entering the value. Don't forget we want to reference E15 from the menu order. So when you enter the values, just press enter on your keyboard. So we have the values change. So, and the implication of that is if you change, if the value of E15 changes, it also affects the one that is here. So this one gets updated too. So that is how the formula works. So this is where we end this particular session. So see you in the next one. Have fun and take care.